Hey everyone, we're at Green Beagle Lodge, and this is one of the most gorgeous dog facilities. Actually, there's some cats here too. They do boarding and daycare and bathing, and they have all these beautiful play areas. I'm here with John Sarver, owner of Gyms for Dogs. And John's company makes equipment and designs daycares and dog parks. So over my shoulder you can see one of the pieces of equipment that John's company makes, but he helps groups like Green Beagle Lodge design and implement their play areas for the dogs.
I'm Emily Feight. I'm the general manager of the Green Beagle Lodge in Pittsboro. We've been here for about 2 years, and we offer primarily boarding and daycare, but we also do training and bathing. We are lovers of dogs and do everything off leash. We really focus on healthy socialization and making sure that dogs are having a good time while also staying safe. So this is one of the pieces of play equipment for our play yards. We decided to go with Gyms for Dogs for its durability and how easy they are to clean. It gives a wonderful breakup to the play yard, so it's not dogs just bored in a yard standing out with nothing to do. It helps a lot with their joints, their flexibility, their mobility, and confidence is a huge thing too. Sometimes dogs struggle with confidence in play groups and socializing, and this really helps to get them comfortable, familiar with their body, and not thinking too much about all of the dogs around them.
We want to talk a little bit about dog park etiquette because John goes to a lot of dog parks. I'm sure you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And we're talking, we'll talk later about the dog parks themselves, but the dog park etiquette, I'm sure you've seen good, bad, and ugly there as well.
Saw some this morning.
Oh, really? What are some of the rules that a group play business needs to establish? And I guess the rules are a little bit different if it's a drop-off to play versus a hanging out to play.
Right. And indoor versus outdoor, obviously. Well, this morning, what I witnessed this morning was a lady coming with a small dog, and she didn't like the size of the dog that was in there. She thought it should be in the large dog. So I got to see those two people interact with each other, that their dog should have been over in the large dog section.
How'd that go?
Everybody, like we say, it's community. Everybody agrees to disagree. The medium-sized dog moved over to the large dog.
Okay.
But yeah, etiquette is, that's a good etiquette, is try to get along with everybody. And if you're not getting along or don't like what someone says, probably best to leave and come back later.
Good idea.
Yeah, and we do see that a lot. We'll see people that don't agree with what's going on, so they'll get their dog and they'll take them for a walk, and then they come back.
Probably a good idea. Better to walk away than to...
That's right, yeah, walk away. And then in an environment like this, you're relying on the staff to keep the place clean and keep the equipment clean and keep the dogs in the right group number and things like that. In the outdoor public places, you have to kind of self-monitor that with the community. What happens is these dog park people, they get to know the people and the dogs, so you start developing a community. When that changes is when someone new comes to the park that's not used to being there. Then you have to kind of all welcome them in, spread people out, spread things out, try not to get too clustered, and that's probably the best etiquette. And then most of all, stay away from the entrance gate.
Exactly.
Doing your research on anywhere you bring your dog is important if you are building a relationship or a foundation. Think about where you're going and figure out who is also going there. Are the dogs there also stable? Are they also going to interact well with your dog? And also really paying attention to how your dog responds to the environment. We always tell people on assessments on their first day at Green Beagle, like, things are going to be a little bit shaky, it's going to be a little bit rocky. The first time you go somewhere, just like for people, it's tricky. Like, we have to adjust to the environment and understand, like, oh, okay, this is where I go, this is what I do. It takes a little bit of time to warm up. And I think just like people, not all dogs are going to like each other. So knowing who your dog's friends are and making sure that they have a good friend group that's going to not only teach them, but also give them rest times, give them breaks, understand when they communicate, like, hey, I don't necessarily want to play right now. And a clean environment is huge for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't love bringing my dogs home if they're, you know, covered in poop, or, you know, just the stink of a dog park or somewhere that isn't cleaned well. Even artificial grass that we use here, if you don't properly clean it, it stinks. And you don't want your dog going home smelling like that. So a clean environment is really important too.
What qualities should a dog have to be in a successful group play environment? I know that my dogs would be horrible in group play because they're good with each other and that's about it. And when we take them out and they see other dogs, they kind of lose their minds because they haven't been socialized in that way. But since we've been here, I've seen quite a few huge groups of, you know, a dozen dogs. Yeah. And I say huge, I mean, I'm sure there are bigger groups, but for the size space that they're in, I think it's a very good size that they've put together. But this is, we were told earlier by Emily, who works here, that it's a no leash facility. So they have everything sort of double gated, where the dogs as a group go from one area to the next area, not having to snap leashes off and on. And they know which dogs can't do that and which dogs can do that. But I've seen multiple transfers of groups of dogs getting from one play area back inside, or from inside to outside. It's like a bunch of school kids. They're all getting along great. Everybody's following in line. Yep. So is it really just about people being honest enough to understand their dog and know how they're going to be?
Understanding their dog and other people's dogs, for sure. When I go to the dog park, everybody there that knows me knows Maggie. And so, you know, it's just complete cooperation. I'm sure Emily will tell you she knows every personality of the dogs in here. It's the new dogs. It's when the new dogs come in and you've got to go through that learning curve. Just the dog park that I was at this morning, there was a lady fostering a dog. She only had the dog for 2 days, and she didn't know if the dog was dog park worthy or not. So she was on the outside, and when the people left the small dog section, I said, why don't we put them in here, use it for an integrative section? And within probably 20 minutes, we had Maggie in there playing with that dog. Oh, good. And that dog had been in a crate for 11 months.
Oh, poor thing. Yeah. So this is all brand new and fun. Yep. And exciting. If you can find a facility that is this nice, and there's a huge staff here, so the dog to staff ratio is pretty darn good from what I have seen. That's what you need. You don't want your dogs to be too crowded together, and you want to make sure that the people who are going to be watching your dogs or interacting with your dogs understand that dog psychology well enough to know who can be together and what to watch for. I was watching a small dog group play, and the person who was out there watching over everybody, there was one little dog that they were all being very friendly, but this one was kind of getting in everybody's space a little too close, and some of them were a little like, ooh, and the person watching them was just very, very good about stepping in between, distracting, getting things moving in the right direction. So it makes a huge difference seeing the staff in action. And I don't know what the rules are here, but I always recommend checking out a facility before you just go drop your pet off. Go in, ask questions, ask for a tour if that's something that can be done, and make sure you feel really comfortable about the setting before you leave your pets anywhere.
Yeah, that's a really good point. This facility, as you can see, as we look around, I do not see one feces on the ground at all.
Very clean.
So a really good thing to do is, if you are considering doggy daycare, get on social media and just look at some of the pictures of the play yard. And the sign of a good dog park and a sign of a good place to leave your dog would be cleanliness. That's really the start of a great facility, is the cleanliness, because usually if they take pride in keeping the park clean, it's going to be well maintained, and there's going to be a community, because it takes more than one person to keep the park clean.
Good points.
Yep.
Dog etiquette, people etiquette.